It's great to have you with us on a sun-splashed afternoon from Philly in the lake, 86 degrees. No rain in the forecast. Looking forward to this D2 matchup between Limestone, the top seed, 20-0, and Merrimack, the Warriors, coming in at 16-3. Dave Ryan alongside Mark Dixon, former midfielder at Johns Hopkins. And Dixie, it's a rematch of the last two national championship games. One won by Limestone, one by Merrimack last year in Foxborough. Oh, by the way, Merrimack playing its last game in Division II. They're off to the NEC and Division I next year. It's a Hollywood script to wrap up their time in D2.
The two best teams in Division II lacrosse face off for the national championship. Limestone, they're hungry after missing last year's game. Merrimack absolutely pasted St. Leo's, a very surprise entrant into last year's Division II national championship game. Merrimack wants to go out on a high note before they go up to it with the big boys, quote unquote, in Division I. Limestone wants to reestablish their position as the best Division II program in the country.
And for several years, when Merrimack enters the NEC, they cannot compete in the NEC tournament, the NCAA tournament. So for an entire class of players who are coming in, and Mike Morgan told us a moment ago, outside the locker room, hasn't really hurt recruiting very much. Only one player decided to decommit after the news of the D2 to D1 move. It means so much because this is the last time for a long time that the Warrior players can win any championship.
And they're building for the future. They feel like this is an athletic program that has the potential to not only sustain but also excel at the Division I level. So it's that short-term pain, long-term gain view that Merrimack Athletics has with respect to their athletic program. And this is the last hurrah in a lot of ways for these guys. They would like nothing better than to go out with a national championship.
All right, Dixie, let's talk about some of the key players. First for Merrimack is Charlie Bertrand, the two-time D2 Player of the Year. This year won the Lieutenant Colonel J.I. Turnbull Award for the top attackman in the nation in Division II. A spectacular talent. And we saw him walking outside the locker room pregame and on the field a few moments ago. He's 6'3", 220. The junior from Baldwinsville, right outside Syracuse. Clearly a D1 talent.
He really is. Big body, smooth player. Had a great game last season in the D2 championship game, and looking to replicate that effort here today. That's what we're going to see in this game. There's a lot of players that have Division I talent that didn't go that route for whatever reason. It could be academics, it could be personal situation, it could be the fact that they wanted to play right away, and the fact that they really just love Merrimack and Limestone respectively. So Bertrand is a guy that we're definitely going to want to keep our eye on.
Larson Sundown, junior attackman and a first-team All-American with 67 goals. He's a transfer from Onondaga Community College up in Syracuse, and the Onondaga Nation, the Haudenosaunee people. What a talent he is. A lot of guys have come to play for Limestone, and their head coach, J.B. Clark, now in his 9th year from Central New York and the Onondaga Nation to try to bring that incredible box-style lacrosse to South Carolina.
And Limestone is a factory, for lack of a better term. I mean, this is a program that oftentimes could have as many as 70 guys on their roster. They have got a lot of players. J.B. Clark, former assistant coach at Duke, former head coach at Washington College, and now manning the helm of really what has been the most consistent program in Division II with the Limestone team.
Christopher Parrott will take the draw for Limestone at the midfield dot. He'll go head-to-head throughout most of this game with Davis Cronin, who will face off for Merrimack, who's had a tremendous season. The wings are ready, the officials are ready. Brian Abbott, Peter Buchanan, Chris DeFelice, on-field officiating crew. And here we go, the 2019 Division II National Championship game is underway. First possession here for the Warriors. From Merrimack, North Andover, Massachusetts, just north of Boston. They have made the trip to Philly to try to win a title again this year. Michael O'Connell, one of the captains for Merrimack, on the early handle. Keep a close eye, number 6 in goal, Charlie Bertrand, two-time Division II National Player of the Year. And as Coach Morgan told us pregame outside the locker room, Bertrand the handle here at goal line extend. He can do it all. Creating shots like this, a lefty blast is high. And over the crossbar, it's a backup for Merrimack.
Yeah, you can see the pick game, the two-man game, number 12 in yellow, Max Morrill setting that pick right around goal line extended, and Bertrand using it. Expect that all day.
Danny Forn is the goaltender for Limestone in this game. He'll go head-to-head with Nick Ponte in the nets. On the other end for the Warriors. Bertrand thought he was closest to it. Backed up, though, instead by Limestone. And the Saints from Gaffney, South Carolina, will march out with Danny Forn, the senior goalie from Trumbull, Connecticut. On a clear try, 20 seconds to get across the midfield line with Kendall Collins into the offensive end. Tyler Ponzio, who's overcome tremendous adversity as a 9th grader. A cancerous mass found in his chest. Extraordinary story to overcome so much. He is one of their inspirational leaders, and as his coach told us this week, the top short stick defensive midfielder in the nation in Division II.
Did a great job clearing the ball on that last sequence. So important, especially with the shot clock, the 20 seconds to get it over that midfield line, having shorties that can handle.
Burns passing behind the net. A fake and a lefty shot just off target. Burns trying to find the handle, and it comes away to Merrimack. Good hands on defense. Carlin Joyle with a 6-foot pole helping clear up field. Christian Glover across the midfield line. Coach Morgan told us pregame that his Warriors will run and gun when they can. Their idea offensively, especially against the great player in Larson Sundown, get into the gloves of the shooters and then create transition opportunities when they can.
No doubt. And that first shot opportunity by the Limestone Saints, Tyler Papa, nice little fake pump to his left, and then the save by Nick Ponte, the goaltender, really fought that off. That was a nice shot, good location, and fought off, and a successful clear for Merrimack.
Tough angle shot, first goal of the game, a blast. And the Merrimack Warriors are on the board. Christian Thomas, sophomore attackman from outside Boston. He and brother Dom were the big heroes against Lemoyne in the national semifinals up on the hill in upstate New York to get this far.
Nothing fancy, just a little sky fake, little stick fake coming out of the cross of Christian Thomas. And I think with that fake, he got the goalie looking upfield and then was able to shoot it far post, low corner. Nice fake, good shot. First goal of the game, and we've got the lid lifter, and the Merrimack Ball Club is off to a fast start.
51st of the year for Christian Thomas. Charlie Bertrand leads the Warrior squad with 74 goals entering championship weekend. Division I, they play the semis on Saturday, championship on Memorial Day, and D2 and 3, it's title day here in Philly. And Limestone looking for the equalizer with play off the wing.
Great ground ball pickup by Nathaniel Carter of the Limestone Saints. He gets it down low to Bennett, who had a very low angle, but another save for Ponte, who's off to a really good start in the Merrimack crease.
Well, North Reading, Massachusetts, Ponte has been a star early. Head-to-head there with Matt Bennett, also from Nedrow, New York, and the Onondaga Nation. That's shot off the side of the net. Larson Sundown trying to get going early in the backup for Merrimack. Here come the Warriors with a chance to clear in the 1-0 lead. Thanks to goal from Christian Thomas. Thomas scored the game winner after brother Dom tied it with about 2 seconds left up at the Heights at Syracuse at Lemoyne in the Division II semifinals. It's been the 6-train ride, as Coach Morgan told us pregame, a 6 seed. They were surprised as the defending national champs to be seated in that position now against the number 1 seeded Limestone Saints here today.
Yeah, Limestone team that lost a game early, March 9th. They lost to Long Island Post. Then they lose to Adelphi at the end of April. Lost to Lemoyne back on May 1st. And, man, they have just turned it on ever since. And they were able to avenge both those regular season losses, beating Adelphi in the quarterfinals 14-12 and then beating Lemoyne in the semifinals in overtime 15-14.
Over the shoulder shot. Might have gotten some pipe there. The feed from Black at X. And it somehow stays out of the goal. Black regains now in the back 15. Watched closely by Van Brunt, one of the top defensemen for Limestone. Black's got far side now on the left alley. Reset of the shot clock at 60. Black charging it at GLE. Bertrand's been held in check so far, but it's early. Max Morrill the handle. On the near side, GLE with the back end, trying to bulldodge move. And Morrill will back it out here for Limestone. Defensively, this is not easy against this versatile Merrimack team. Shot in the net again, and the good start continues here for the Merrimack Warriors. The Thomas brothers, Black, Bertrand, and company, off to a tremendous start. Dom Thomas, the junior. In addition to brother Christian, off to a great start.
It's a two-man game, basically, and you could see Morrill started at goal line extended, used a pick from Dom Thomas, and they basically just switched positions. So Thomas is now at goal line extended. Morrill then attacks from about 10 yards off the crease. And there's a slide off of Dom Thomas, a little flip pass underneath, one-on-one for number 40 in the gold and blue, and he slots it past the Limestone keeper.
28th of the year, and the Thomas brothers strike twice here, Dixie, early for Merrimack. Their head coach Mike Morgan told us just moments ago in front of their locker room that a good start and taking an early lead would be important for confidence on this big stage. But both programs know it well. Third straight year they've met in the championship game. Dakota Kirsch Downs takes the face-off this time, trying to get possession for Limestone. But Merrimack's right back at it. Face-off win, chance to get it across the midfield line and take a 3-0 lead on this possession. And the best news maybe for Warrior fans, Bertrand hasn't scored yet, and they still have the early lead.
And that's always a good sign when your main man does not have any points and you're up 2-0. But there is a mental error, an offsides against Merrimack.
Sundown trying to score to the left of the goal, charging in. That shot came out of his stick funny, and he's checking the pocket right now. He's the All-American first-team Division II player. Larson Sundown, 67 goals and 107 points. He leads the St. program in goals, points, and assists entering this championship game here today. Limestone's got to settle down a little bit, Dixie, here.
They got to play some more wee ball instead of me. A lot of one-on-one, a lot of low-angle shots.
Sundown trying for the cut. Bounce shot, pipe. A rip there. Clark Walter, first-team All-American midfielder for Limestone. And the iron friendly to the Warriors, who break out upfield.
Even though they hit a pipe, I like the ball movement and I like the sharing of the rock. Good little give and go. Instead of it just being a low angle, one shot and done. That was good ball movement, and eventually Limestone's going to get one to drop. And then once that happens, I think things are going to really open up for the Saints.
Bertrand, the early handle in this possession. Sean Black, sophomore, handles back 15. And why not take your time with 50 to shoot in this possession for the Warriors? Off to a great start today. Jack Henry Smith, see a lot of him today. Max Morrill as well. And the right alley handles with the right-hand cradle. Bertrand parked outside the right alley right now. Christian Thomas tries that quick shovel pass in traffic. Intercepted. Jordan Storos, All-American, long stick defensive midfielder, trying to find a handle as Limestone tries to break upfield. Tyler Papa, fast break lacrosse, big crank, big shot, and on the board Limestone. Brian Huey, the grad student from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, lights the lamp. And the Saints are on the board.
Merrimack coaching staff not happy with a no call. They thought their player was held in the defensive end. To no avail, Limestone comes out running, and it's Huey with some high heat past the Merrimack goaltender. Nice run out by Papa, and very unselfish play, getting it to Huey, and Huey one-times that from about 12. High to high, beautiful shot, great transition lacrosse for the Limestone Saints.
Team's fourth leading scorer, Dixie. Grad student Brian Huey finally gets it going here for the five-time champs. As Limestone has been so dominant, 20-0 this year, coming to us from Gaffney, South Carolina, and trying for yet another title. Merrimack may be leaving due to, but Limestone is not.
No.
They may be around for
They're sticking around.
Many years of dominance. Good work, face-off X. And eventually, Limestone and Jordan Storos, who's an All-American from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, finds the ground ball, and they'll set here looking a little more relaxed after their first goal.
And that always will settle a team down. You get into a groove. You hit a pipe on the previous possession, then you get it out into space, little transition, they find pay dirt. That's going to really galvanize them a little bit.
Sundown on the back end, about 10 yards in front of the net. Passing goal line extended. And a really good ball moment here on this Limestone possession. Huey, the first of the day for the Saints. Colton Mosman passes behind the cage. Dive, shot. Sundown somehow blocked on the near pipe. And a chance here for the Warriors to clear up field.
Yeah, really low angle. Looked like it hit the side of the net. So Sundown, he's just got to take a couple extra steps above goal line extended to increase his angle and give himself a little bit more net to shoot at.
Sean Black will walk it outside. The left side of the restraining box here as Merrimack gets set up, trying for another national championship. Bertrand at a Baldwinsville, New York, just outside Syracuse. Passing for Black at X. Thomas cutting through. Thomas now right behind the cage. Defense held up. Christian Thomas, brother Dom Thomas, the 2 goal scorers for Merrimack so far. And Huey Towling for Limestone to make it a 2-1 game. Thomas Freed tries the one-handed right-hand shot, and he's in the crease. And it goes back to the Saints.
Yeah, good idea. A little stick fake. Got his man upfield, just stepped in the crease.
Fast break Lacrosse. Huey the handle on a good pass from Papa. And the offensive zone shot. Sundown, Pike comes all the way out to Bertrand on the move. Here's Black in the offensive end on a very lucky bounce for Merrimack.
Double whammy right there. Hits the pipe, and then it had so much heat on it that it
cleared itself.
Caroms all the way down to the cross of Bertrand, who's waiting with open arms to grab it and then trigger the offense here for Merrimack.
Black passing, Thomas shooting, stop. A big save for Limestone. Breakout play to Kendall Collins. With a 6-foot pole, he'll get across the midfield line. Man, Limestone gets it set up here in our first quarter. I haven't really talked much about the 80-second shot clock and a fast-paced game.
Both these teams up and down, especially Limestone. You can tell they're really gunning for that early offense, transition opportunity. That's how they scored their only goal of this contest. Merrimack is not bashful either, but the Warriors do seem a little bit more comfortable and efficient in the 6-on-6 setting, at least 9 minutes into the game.
Clark Walter, left alley dodge move. The grass surface lost his footing for a moment. Regains. They'll keep possession for Papa up top. A lefty crank his shot, and it's stopped. Ponte effective in the nets for Merrimack so far. They shut down a couple of difficult saves. And the Warriors clear across the midfield line with no trouble.
Yeah, nice job clearing by this Merrimack team. Good save again by Ponte. Stick side high. Those are the saves you have to make. And so far in this one, Ponte is coming up with those.
Max Morrill works for Bertrand, right alley. Will Bertrand get going here? A lefty shot stops. Danny Foran finds the angle nicely. Senior goalie from Trumbull, Connecticut. And on the breakout for Limestone. Little trouble getting across the midfield line. Handle from Andrew Martin. Briefly lost it. But Jake Krotzer and company. He's a short stick defensive midfielder from Oneonta, New York, upstate. Limestone, Mike Serino, we saw him outside the locker room today. Athletic director, former coach of the Charlotte Hounds in Major League Lacrosse, and a long-time coach at Limestone. They've built an incredible tradition, bringing players from all over the world to star in Gaffney, South Carolina. Sundown makes the move. Sharp angle shot, knocked aside. Another big save. Ponte, who so far has had Sundown's number, and a clear try here for the Warriors.
And Sundown on his ride attempt snaps his stick, breaks his shaft, so he's got to run off the field. And with him out of the game, it became a much easier clearing opportunity for Merrimack. Surprised we didn't get a cross-check right there. Typically when a player bends or breaks his shaft while thrusting his arms forward, draws a flag. No dice in this situation. We're 6-on-6, but Merrimack has been very efficient in the clearing game.
Seamus Ford, second line midfielder, out here for Black in the back 15. Merrimack and Coach Mike Morgan pretty deep. Black the handle from X. Spins to GLE. His pass, errant, broken up. And the goaltender, Danny Foran, finds the ground ball.
Excellent double team by Limestone, and Black tried to force it in front of the face of the goal instead of maybe stepping away from that pressure. The ball rotation could have been back up top, or he could have taken it, drifted behind the goal to X, but the force, Limestone was all over it.
Clark Walter, full head of steam across the midfield line for the All-American. Limestone 3 first-team Division II All-Americans announced by the USILA this week. Bertrand, the lone first-teamer for Merrimack. Warriors from just outside Boston. Pop up top, thought about a crank. Clark Walter feeding. Ball movement, maybe the one extra pass knocked aside. Huey trying to feed in front for a quick stick one-time goal, broken up nicely by the Merrimack defense, now clear up field. Drew Haley across the midfield line. He'll settle from his shorty spot and sub on some offensive-minded players here with less than 2 to go in our first quarter. We expected a close game, maybe with some more goals in the first quarter of the title tilt, but these teams know each other well from championship weekend, not the regular season, feeling each other out a little bit.
Well, and you got to tip your cap to the goaltenders as well. Ponte, 5 saves so far for Merrimack. Foran has 4 stops for the Limestone Saints.
Bertrand jumping, shooting, and scoring. Charlie Bertrand's got his first, showing us why he's the National Division II Player of the Year. Officials confer, no crease call. Didn't dive toward the mouth of the goal. He's on the board. It's another for the Warriors, make it 3-1.
Great recognition by Bertrand. He saw that his defender was upfield a little bit and also had him a little bit of an inside lane for him. It was a fake pick. Bertrand leaves his feet and then dives to the top of the crease, so he stays out of that goal mouth area. Great individual effort by Charlie Bertrand, utilizing this new dive rule in 2019 to his advantage.
Christopher Parent will take the faceoff here for Limestone. Top-seeded Saints at 20-0 entering play. A 70% faceoff efficiency for Parent entering this one against Davis Cronin at the midfield dot after Bertrand scores yet again for Merrimack. Warriors have it. Just over a minute to go with Black in the back 15 and a timeout call by Merrimack College and head coach Mike Morgan. And we will take a break as well here in Philadelphia. Merrimack has a 3-1 lead with 1:10 to go first quarter, and the ball back to Philly after this. And speaking this week with Jamie Clark, ninth-year head coach at Limestone, has won 3 titles in 2014, 15, and 17, Dixie. We talked about how tough it was going to be to shut down the great attack of Merrimack. And so far, Bertrand, Thomas brothers on the board, 3-1 lead. Off the timeout, called by Mike Morgan, former Division II National Coach of the Year. Last minute, first quarter. What do you think the coach is thinking about in that break?
I'm not really sure. He's got the momentum. He's up 3-1. Those timeouts, they're like gold coins. Coaches really like to hold on to them, but maybe he feels like they've got the momentum. If they can get to 4 by the time this first quarter expires, that would be a real shot in the arm. That's what I've got to believe, and maybe he just wanted to get the proper personnel to appropriately attack this Limestone defense.
Sean O'Connell for Max Morrill. Now black handles in the back 15. Shot clock turned off. Final moments of the first quarter here in the Division II National Championship game from Philly. Max Morrill. The handle briefly. Black makes his swim move. Left alley. Sharp angle shot. Side of the net. There from Michael O'Connell, a senior midfielder. And in the final seconds of the quarter, ball fired downfield with 3 seconds to go. That's dangerous with all the great attackmen Limestone has. There's the horn, there's the corner. And the first is in the books. Division II powerhouses in Merrimack, the 6th seed, and Limestone, the top seed. 1 quarter complete. Mark, what are your thoughts on the opening 15?
I like Merrimack. I like their patience on offense. I like how they pick their spots to attack. I really like their goaltending as well. For Limestone, they obviously want to play this game at a faster clip, at a faster pace than Merrimack does, but I felt like they were rushed, especially in the first 7 minutes or so, with some quick shots, some hasty shots. I think they just need to settle down, and some of those shots have to start dropping for them. Credit Ponte. He made 2 or 3 saves that were highlight reel worthy, but this is a Limestone team that just maybe has to take a deep breath and not push for the first shot, but look for the best shot.
5 saves, Ponte in that first quarter, and Danny Foran of Limestone had 4. Goal scorers, Christian Thomas, Dom Thomas, and Charlie Bertrand score for the 6th seeded Warriors. And just the 1 goal from Huey. Sort of semi-transition with about 8:22 to go in the first quarter. That's it for the top seeded Saints in a 3-1 lead after 1. Some other numbers, shots are 10 apiece. Face-offs 3-2 after the opening quarter for Merrimack. Clears 7 for 8 for the Warriors, 5 for 5 for the Saints. Turnovers 3 for Merrimack and 2 turnovers, the miscues for the Saints in the opening 15. Also want to correct that last year, as you pointed out, you were on the call in Foxborough. St. Leo was the runner-up. These teams did meet in 2017, won by Limestone and Coach J.B. Clark 11-9. Limestone lost the 2016 championship game to Lemoyne and Danny Sheehan on the Division II level. Bottom line, big-time powerhouses in D2.
It was an anomaly. It wasn't an anomaly. It was out of the ordinary last year that Limestone did not make the Division II championship game. A little bit of an upset, and this year they're back. And this is what Division II lacrosse fans want to see. They want to see the best out of the best, and it is Merrimack and it is Limestone.
Davis Cronin and Christopher Parrott will kneel at midfield in a moment to begin our second quarter. Parrott, one of 2 really good face-off men, along with Dakota Kirsch-Downs for Limestone. And head coach J.D. Clark telling us in our discussion with him yesterday, the 2 face-off guys live together. They literally at times have to have their sticks taken away by the coaches because they're constantly working on their craft, and sometimes they need to rest. They are lacrosse junkies, Dixie. You can relate, right?
Absolutely. It's what it takes oftentimes to succeed at the next level, which is the collegiate level. Just how much time and effort these guys put in. And it's not just on the field, off the field, conversations, extra work, all those kinds of things really go into being here on championship weekend.
Sundown, lefty shot, he scores! And that's exactly what Limestone needed from their leading scorer, Larson Sundown. The set off the face-off win from Christopher Parrott. He streaks in. It's not going to stick very long on the bounce. It's 3-2.
And there you see the quick strike ability of the Limestone Saints. It's off the substitution on the face-off. And Sundown, for all the missed opportunities he had in the first quarter, the quick catch and shoot. Beautiful bounce shot, finally is able to solve Ponte, and that might be the spark that Limestone needs to potentially go on a Saint run.
The All-American and team's leader came to South Carolina from the Onondaga Nation up in the Syracuse area. Redshirted for a semester, yet academically and socially adjusted. Family and friends make the trip to just about every game, the coach told us, all the way from upstate New York down to South Carolina or wherever Limestone is playing. Sundown's got a great following.
Always good to have a bunch of groupies, a fan club.
He's got them.
That can really bolster your game and really lift your spirits. And Sundown, you could see he is a goal scorer. He is a playmaker and a goal scorer, and he really wants the ball in his stick every opportunity he can get.
Plays a GLE for Matt Bennett, the senior with 55 points, 19 goals. Sundown and Tyler Papa, also an upstater, Fayetteville Manlius High School, just outside Syracuse, making the long trip to play college lacrosse in South Carolina. Looking more comfortable now, the Saints on offense. Papa, big crank, a right-handed blast is off target. Trying to get it past Nick Ponte, the goaltender from just outside Boston. Jeremy Burns operates. Bennett from the back 15. Bounce shot. Not off by much there from Clark Walter. Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. Speaking of going a long way to play your college lax in South Carolina, a Canadian sharpshooter.
Yeah, you can just tell inside, Sundown being checked up by number 17 in gold, Nicholas Perez Blanco. They're not liking each other a whole lot right now.
There's Papa. Goes high, scores! Tyler Papa, attackman for the Saints, buries it. And we are tied 3-3 in our second quarter from Philly.
Fans from Limestone eating it up. The Saints are starting to get into a little bit of a groove here. Papa, who missed some shots in the first quarter, just basically has that nice little move from right to left. It's such a quick little jab step dodge. This time he gets to the center of the field. He puts it high to high and sticks it past the Merrimack goaltender. The shots are starting to drop for the Limestone Saints.
J.B. Clark told us about Tyler Papa. He's kind of an Ovechkin type to the Washington Capitals. That same sort of role, the heart and soul of this Saints team. And a great high-to-high shooter. The range at 12 to 13 yards. Exactly what the coach told us we'd see today from Tyler Papa. Equalizer and a new game again.
3-3. All even. Merrimack needs a possession and some plays to stem this momentum that Limestone has been able to generate.
Dakota Kirsch-Downs takes this draw for the Saints. And Davis Cronin trying to win the ground ball. Good wing play for the Warriors, and they'll get set up with Black in the back 15 here. They needed that one, you're right. Bertrand did score at the end of the first quarter, along with Christian and Dom Thomas for Merrimack in the opening 15. Brian Huey tallied. That was it for Limestone, the top seed in the first quarter. Sundown and Papa early goals in quarter number 2 to tie this game up.
Well, Carlin Joyle, long stick midi for Merrimack, made a great play on a ground ball, getting it to space.
Flag flies, Bertrand the pass, shot is in! The blast from Drew Haley with a flag down. The freshman lights the lamp for the Warriors. And Merrimack regains the lead 4-3.
Limestone a little over aggressive on the defense. When the flag flies, Haley is left all to his lonesome, and he's only about 10 yards from the cage. He's going to take that feed, cock it back, and let it rip. Great shot for Haley. The flag is a slash against Limestone, so even though the goal is scored, the personal foul is still upheld and still assessed. So it's a man-up face-off for the Merrimack Warriors.
And the second-team All-American, Dixie Kendall Collins, out of Hurley, New York, and Ulster County, will have to take a seat for the next 60 as Haley scores. Kind of the make-it-take-it here. Man up Face-off now for Davis Cronin, sophomore from Boston. Face-off dot, trying to win it for the Warriors in their final game in Division II. Wins back to teammate Christian Glover, and possession again in Merrimack.
Great face-off win. We saw the wing play of Joyle previous. That got them their 4th goal of the game, and now the face-off man for the Warriors just wins it clean to himself, and they'll enjoy an extra man opportunity.
Warriors have 46 man-up goals this year to 18 for their opponents, part of this great season at 16-3, entering the D2 title game here today. Dom Thomas, Black at X. Thomas, sharp angle shot. Deflected. Bertrand trying to find the handle. Was that a pipe or a save? It went airborne.
I couldn't tell. There was a reset of the shot clock, but now the referees, I don't know if they're saying that should have been reset. We'll take a look and see what happens to it. It looked like it was reset, and then the referees stopped play, which led me to believe that it wasn't contact with the keeper. It would have been, well, either way, if it's contact with the keeper or a pipe, you're entitled to a reset. The Warriors have a fresh 80 to work with.
Sean Black gets it back 15. Christian Thomas had 4 goals, including that huge game winner against Lemoyne in the D2 semifinals, putting the Warriors back in the title game as the 6th seed. As Coach Morgan told us pregame, it was the Lemoyne trilogy. A lot of games against their arch rivals from Syracuse, the Dolphins, and Danny Sheehan. Bertrand up top. Speaking of Central New York, big blast with a man up, the hammer. Tyler Lee Antonio, a righty rip, and that was heat from 12 to the right of the cage. And it's another for Merrimack.
Big boy goal for Lee Antonio. Shoots it near side. I really thought that Foreign could have made the save, but you got to credit Merrimack. Again, even on the extra man, they're using picks. Picks all over the field, at the top, down low. And this is just high heat to the near side for Leontino. Beautiful placement. And the velocity was really what made the difference. And we're seeing a lot of different scores for Merrimack in this early going, finding the back of the cage.
Also seeing why Charlie Bertrand, Dixie, is the Division II Player of the Year again. It's another helper. Back-to-back assists for him, plus the goal earlier in this first half. He's 1 and 2 for 3. And the extra man goal scored by Merrimack, coming in with a 48.9 EMO efficiency. And they've taken the 2-goal lead again after a couple early in the second, scored by Limestone, Sundown, and Papa. The scrap, face-off dot. Christopher Parent trying to find the handle for the Saints, cannot. Good wing play again. Taken by Lee Sipes, the shorty, who gets the return pass and a quick shot just off target. Beyond the reach there, the goaltender Foreign, but missed the cage. Backed up by the Warriors with a 2-goal lead on the Rock again.
Being re-triggered by Bertrand. He's had some success early in this game. A goal, a couple of assists. New midfield unit for Merrimack checking into the contest, and they answered the bell. Little run by the Limestone Saints to tie this thing up, and Merrimack scored the last 2.
Michael O'Connell, bulldodge up top, free left hand, big blast over the crossbar. And is backed up again by Black in the back 15. He's got Morrow with him now in this unit. Black operates, gets the pick at X. Christian Thomas for Black, near side GLE. Long stick matchup, speedy attackman. The quarterback of this Warrior offense. But Bertrand's the finisher. Black again taking his time. Defense held up, 20 to shoot. This possession for Merrimack. O'Connell thought about a pass. Faked that shovel to Black, who's got it now to X. Defense held up yet again. And Nate Van Brunt with a 6-foot pole joining his goaltender. Black, room, stopped, deflection, end line. That's the other way for Limestone.
Incredible hustle by the goaltender Foreign. Just won the race to the end line. Had that worked out for Merrimack, it would have been a fresh 80 and another possession. Foreign had other plans in mind. Tremendous hustle by the Limestone goalie.
Matt Bennett handles. And back for Larson Sundown. Both from the upstate area. Haudenosaunee people of the Onondaga Nation. So proud with their tremendous lacrosse tradition. Lars Tiffany, the Virginia head coach, is from that area as well. Quick try, right on net, stopped. And a big save by Ponte as he rejects the All-American Clark Walter. Walter, a couple of assists here in the first half, going for his first tally of the day, shut down.
Great save by Ponte, holding his ground. It was a beautiful give and go, which looks to be a forte of this Limestone attack. They're so quick to shoot. They put pressure on you right when they cross the midfield line in offensive sets.
Drew Haley, pass from Thomas. Now returning to Thomas and plays offside. So Limestone down by a couple and a chance to streak upfield here with Jordan Storos, the All-American. Passing for Bennett. Return pass on the move and a blast just off target by Ponzio. He's a short, thick defensive midfielder, not known for his offensive prowess, but in 20 games does have 5 goals, and a timeout is called here by Limestone, and J.B. Clark, the head coach in his 9th year, will take a timeout as well with 8:29 to go in the first half. And the Warriors a 5-3 lead on the Saints. Back to Philly right after this. Five-3 game here in the second quarter, 8:29 to go off the timeout called by J.B. Clark, head coach of Limestone. Top-seeded Saints 20-0 this year, 12 title game. Every year since they've been in existence, 1990 to now, they've never missed an NCAA tournament in Division II. Tremendous powerhouse off the timeout. What do you think the coach is thinking about there?
I think he just recognizes they're down by a couple of goals. Let's get our proper personnel on the field, take care of the ball, and get one here. Good time to use a timeout. I mean, halfway through the second quarter.
May as well, right?
Can't take them with you. Use one now, probably save one for a short time right before half.
Clark Walter plays into the corner for Brian Huey. He's got one of the goals scored today by the Saints. Papa trying to feed in front for Sundown and wasn't looking for it. Little miscommunication and an easy play made by Ponte. Thomas and company upfield here for the Warriors. On the move, looking for a quick stick try. Spin, shot just off target. And the blast there by Brennan McKinnis, short stick defensive midfielder. And a freshman for the Warriors. He'll sprint off field, offensive-minded player. In front, off the pipe, over the shoulder shot. Christian Thomas looking for his second feed from Black on the quick retrigger. Limestone was not ready at all defensively. And now some fast break lacks the other way for Krotzer as he feeds off for Brian Huey, and the Saints will settle. Some wild back and forth action, but nothing in the net yet. Bennett will play for Larson Sundown. Makes his move, goal line extended. Sundown trying the power play. The man's move through traffic, but it comes to Ponte as he lost it last second. And of course, the Warrior defense well aware of what Larson Sundown can do.
And they've not really gotten to him because he shoots the ball so fast. And I think that he, again, try not to do too much, get a better angle. and give yourself more opportunity to score goals and make plays.
Morrill has it, right alley. Handles for Black, who sets up everything from X. Now the back 15. The fenceman now is hung up in Matthew Plank, redshirt junior from Eastport, New York. Black with a slide coming, a double team, so someone's open here for the Warriors. Passes up top for Charlie Bertrand. Pretty quiet after the early explosion with a 1 and 2 for 3. 1 goal so far came at the end of the first quarter. Black the fake, Black the shot. He scores! Tremendous move from X to get free. And Sean Black, the sophomore from Cheshire, Connecticut, darts out front, goes low, and there's nothing that Danny Foran can do. It's another for the Warriors.
That's just a great job of running upfield and keeping your feet moving. Any young attackman watching this game, this is attack motion 101. Bertrand draws a slide. Black recognizes that his man leaves him wide open, so he catches it at X. And instead of trying to be fancy and hang the defense up, he recognizes all that green, all that free space in front of him. He attacks it, gets above goal line extended, gets himself an angle, and then just drops it home. Beautiful effort by Sean Black.
And another assist for Bertrand. Dixie's now 1 and 3 for 4, 3 shots early and 3 ground balls. As Coach Morgan told us pregame, this guy does it all, and you're going to be excited to watch him play on the field today. He was right about that. So effective from his attack spot. And D2, 2-time player of the year. So 6-3 lead as Haley, Lee Antonio, and now Black have scored. Second quarter for Merrimack after the 2 early goals scored by Sundown and Papa. On the other end, quick shot right off the face-off win. Kirsch downs, but it's off target. And he'll head off field for an offensive player.
Well, now the shoe is on Limestone's foot. Can they answer the run by Merrimack? Can they regain some energy and some momentum that they grabbed early here in this quarter that Merrimack has seized since?
Larson Sundown plays up top. Works for Patrick Hanley, second line midfield. Out lefty blast off target. And it comes in the near corner. Backed up by Sundown. Larson Sundown, near corner, and the retrigger. Speed dodge move for Sundown. Looks for a little help. Colton Mosman, redshirt senior, second midfielder, 17 goals on the handle. And he'll work into the left alley. Limestone on the attack, shorty matchup. And the quick shot just off target again from Hanley. And senior from Syracuse.
This Limestone team is not afraid to shoot. Typically 2-3 steps, boom, they're going for cage.
Sundown passing. The cut, Huey. Lost the handle. That's taken back by Carlin Joyle, sophomore defenseman with a 6-foot pole. And a good clear easily across the midfield line for the Warriors. Sipes the handle briefly. Lee Sipes charging in. Shorty thought about pulling the trigger, but he'll head off now. And an offensive set in the half field again for Merrimack with under 5 to go in the first half. Papa's goal beginning of the second quarter tied it at 3. Since then, it has been all Merrimack with 3 in a row. Bertrand 4-point day so far. Long stick matchup on the All-American. Black has Thomas to his right. That's Christian Thomas, who feeds, and quick shot. Thomas stopped. Ball's loose toward the end line. And finally picked up by Limestone. Steve Werner, a freshman, grabs his 17th ground ball this season. And a clear trap field here for the Saints.
Really nice save by Foran. Recognized that shot right around goal line extended. Nice little no-look pass from Black. And then a great job for Limestone tracking down the loose ball, not giving Merrimack a second possession.
Sundown passing in front, trying for his teammate, and looking to hit Clark Walter on a quick stick try. Maybe a rushed possession there for Limestone after a really good defensive effort. And that long pass downfield from Foran to Larson Sundown. Thomas has got it again here. Antonio, big crank. Off target, wide of the cage, back up for the Warriors with 3:40 to go in our first half.
And Merrimack, again, just a little bit more patient, a little bit more methodical on offense, and they've been able to find success. Limestone, they know one speed, and that's fast and faster. And I think, again, they just need to slow down just a tad to get some better looks.
Bertrand, swim move. Bertrand shot off target. Mike Morgan told us pregame, asking about Charlie Bertrand's recruiting story as a junior. He's the second leading scorer in all Central New York. And a lot of the Division I coaches thought maybe he was a little slow-footed. And Coach Morgan said, what are you talking about? We love his athleticism. Had a good connection, came to a camp. And Coach Morgan said, if he steps foot on my campus, I'm going to offer him a scholarship and a chance to play for the Warrior program. And the rest is history. Two-time National Player of the Year. It's amazing. I would think a lot of Division I programs would love to have him now. Merrimack headed to D1 next year. Bertrand's a junior. They'll play in the NEC next season.
Yeah, and we'll see. The Northeast Conference won this year by Robert Morris. You got teams like Mount St. Mary's, Hobart, Sacred Heart. They've got a hell of a player in Max Tuttle, second-team All-American in 2019.
Bertrand, really nice takeaway with a 6-foot pole by Kendall Collins. Tries to find the ground ball. And the battle continues. The shorty involved as well, and Matt Hommel. But it's taken right back by Merrimack here with 2:40 and counting. Remaining in the first half. Black in the back 15 controls. Scored most recently. Feeds O'Connell now to X as things invert for the Warriors on offense. Cutters run through their sequence in this half-field set. O'Connell has defense held up. He'll take his time. Now the Bulldogs. Thought about pulling the trigger, switches hands, jump, shoots, scores! Lefty hammer, Michael O'Connell, the senior from Sudbury, raising the roof a little bit here at the link. And 2:16 to go in the first half. It's another for the defending national champs.
O'Connell's able to do this because of the way Merrimack has been sharing the ball. He gets the defense hung up behind the cage, pump fakes a couple of feeds. Then he's going to get to that 5 and 5. 5 yards up, 5 yards out from the goal area. He's just going to spin and hammer it home. He draws a crowd. He senses that he can get leverage on his matchup, and I like how he dodges right, and then he comes back left and gets separation. He steps away from his defender to get his hands free, and then he sends it far post, stick side high against Foreign, and finds the back of the cage.
7 different goal scorers for 6-seeded Merrimack. O'Connell has got his 41st of the year. Was he raising the roof before? And what's that? I mean, I'm up with all the...
He's cradling the baby.
Cradling the baby. That's a big thing you see a lot of the athletes do. And a timeout call with 2:16 to go. So the big run here from the Warriors, how have they done it?
They've done it by hustle plays. I think it started on the face-off with when it was tied at 3-3, Carlin Joyle getting that ball into space and getting an opportunity for Merrimack to go to work, and then they score a goal and they draw a penalty. And then what do? They do what they're supposed to do. They do what you need to do to teams that give you those openings. They cashed in on the EMO. So Merrimack, I've said it repeatedly, I think they're not being slow on offense by any stretch of the imagination, but they're being very methodical. And by being methodical, they're wearing down this Limestone defense that only wants to play at a very fast pace, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. They've taken some chances, and Merrimack has capitalized when the Limestone Saints have sort of overcompensated and overcommitted on the defensive end.
4-0 run for the 6-seeded Merrimack Warriors from North Andover, Massachusetts, with Haley, Lee Antonio, Sean Black, and now Mike O'Connell. After the 2 early goals scored by Larson Sundown and Tyler Papa off Limestone. They're right back in the game. They're very comfortable offensively. But you're right, good goaltending as well has been a big reason for Pawnee. And I think the defense for Merrimack, and in talking with Mike Morgan, that was a big part of their strategy in the game plan, Dixie, to get in the gloves of the shooters from Limestone, make them uncomfortable. And you don't really feel, other than that little early run in the second quarter, that Limestone is really fluid offensively.
They're not, and they're not getting any rhythm because they're not getting any possession time. They're coming down and they're shooting the ball right away. Coaches will always tell you, we want to take the best shot, not the first shot. I feel like Limestone, especially here from about the midpoint of the second quarter until now, has been taking the first shot. And I think that he could work it around a little bit more, give their defense a rest, and try to play for a higher percentage, higher quality shot.
Davis Cronin will go head-to-head here with Dakota Kirsch Downs. Face-offs are 6 of 11 to this point for Merrimack. A 7-3 lead and a 4-0 run for the Merrimack Warriors. It's a team that knocked off Lemoyne in overtime, as we talked about in the semifinals after wins over Mercyhurst and Adelphi in the D2 tournament. En route to championship Sunday here in Philly. Coach Morgan told us pregame this program has enjoyed the ride so much. What a chance as they wrap up their Division II tenure. And can you imagine going out with a title? I mean, that's the way you do it.
That's it. That's it. That's like, that's like you're wrestling in the WWE and you have the championship belt and then you take it to another organization. You're like, I'm not dropping the strap for anybody. You leave, it's a mic drop.
I know you're a wrestling guy.
Love wrestling. I just saw a documentary of sorts on the what's known as the Montreal screw job, when Bret Hart got jobbed by Shawn Michaels when he was leaving the WWE for WCW. They wouldn't let him take the championship belt.
Shot is in, a blast, rattles around, pipe to net. Seamus Ford jumps, releases the rocket. It hits the pipe and then ricochets into the net. It's another goal scored for the Warriors. They'll make it 5 straight, and they've got a lead of 8-3.
The Merrimack Warrior crowd loves it. The supporters are dancing in the streets. They called Bret Hart the Hitman. Seamus Ford is going to hit the upper 90. I'm not sure Farron thought this was coming his way. A little bit unsuspecting, but Ford just gets enough angle to tattoo the upper 90 far post and then does a little shimmy. We've seen the raise the roof, we've seen the baby cradle, then we're seeing a little bit of the jig. This is a Merrimack team that is loose, excited, and playing some great lacrosse, jumping out to a 5-goal lead.
Hard to imagine early in the second quarter after Papa scored. Now, a minute 15 into the second, it was a 3-3 game. All Merrimack since, with an 8-3 lead and 8 different goal scorers now. Big offensive game for Bertrand, 1 and 3 for 4. He is the only player on the team with multiple points. Forget multiple goals. Now, face-off violation, and the Warriors have it again here.
Such a luxury when you have that distribution of scoring, that depth of scoring and balanced production. It makes it so much harder to defend as an opponent. You don't know where it's coming from. Yeah, Bertrand, who's being face guarded right now. So Charlie Bertrand is being shut off by the Limestone defender, number 34, Kendall Collins. So this is 5-on-5 lacrosse, Merrimack and Limestone. Bertrand is just kind of hovering around the middle of the field. I wouldn't be surprised to see him to move to the top of the box or off to the side to open up space for his Merrimack offensive teammates.
All right, Dixie, final minute here of our first half. Shot clock turned off. Now 45 seconds to see what the Warriors have in mind as O'Connell just walks it outside the box in no rush. Generally, you see between the 15 and 10-second mark, teams will really get going and get it toward the goal, try to get that last tally of the opening half. Morrill passing. Here's Bertrand with a handle outside the box. The do-it-all National Attackman of the Year. Black feeding. O'Connell a grab, thought about a quick one-timer in the final moments of the first half. In front, Thomas scores! It's a fake, it's a goal. Christian Thomas. We've got our first multi-goal scorer of this Division II championship game. Black creates, Thomas finishes, another goal scored for Merrimack. The run continues, 6 in a row.
They're just chipping away and chipping away is Merrimack. Good two-man game once again between Black and Thomas. And the ability for Black to make these short little feeds, very impressive. A little lever pass at about 2 yards to the cutting Christian Thomas. Great handle, good finish. Merrimack is rolling heavy.
Another assist for Black, who's got 73 on the season to lead this Merrimack team and 103 points. Brilliant create. The offensive opportunity again from X. 9-3 game. Limestone desperately needs a face-off win. Some kind of momentum here at the end of the first half. Not going to get it, though. Davis Cronin, very solid face-off dot. Opening 30 minutes for Merrimack. Final seconds. Maybe an opportunity here with a long-range shot just off target and stopped on the blast from Brendan McInnes. And that's it for the opening 30. Danny Foran does stop this one. Entering Championship Sunday with a 19-0 record in the nets for Limestone. But Dixie, that was a dominant second quarter and a great first half for the Warriors.
They answered the run by the Limestone Saints with a 6-goal run of their own to close out the first half. All the momentum, all the execution, all the mojo is on the side of this Merrimack lacrosse team.
3-1 after one and 9-3 now at halftime. As we check some of the numbers, Bertrand 1 and 3 for 4. Thomas, as we mentioned, finally a multi-goal scorer. 2 goals on 7 shots and 3 points. Black had the last assist, 1 and 1 for 2 in the opening 30 minutes. Larson Sundown did have 1 goal on 5 shots, was not a big factor. He scored to begin the second quarter to make it 3-2. Other than that, Papa 1 and 1 for 2 on 5 shots. Huey did have a goal as well, the 3-goal scorer by the top seed, undefeated Limestone College Saints. 20-0 entering play, but in some serious trouble here. Saves 8-7 in the first half for Limestone. Faceoffs were 9 of 14 for the Warriors. Davis Cronin outstanding faceoff. Clears 12 of 13 in that opening 30 minutes for Merrimack. 8 of 8 for Limestone. Turnovers 5-4 in favor of Limestone. So if you're thinking about the longtime powerhouse Limestone State program and J.B. Clark, what is your message to your team to try to get back in the game?
Slow down, share the ball, take better shots. Pretty simple conversation J.B. Clark's having with his team.
Comebacks, we've seen them in championship weekend. They happen a lot, don't they?
They do.
So we'll take a break here from Philly. It's halftime, and how about Merrimack with that 6-0 run to end the second quarter? They lead Limestone Division II National Championship game 9-3. Back with the second half in a few minutes. Back in Philadelphia, 9-3. Merrimack, the Warriors leading Limestone. The Saints Division II National Championship game on a great day for college lacrosse. About 80 degrees plus on the field. This natural grass surface at the link, host to the best weekend at college lacrosse. Championship weekend, Division I National Championship game will be Yale, Virginia tomorrow. Mark Dixon, let's talk a little Division III. Cabrini, the Cavaliers, with a 21-2 record. First ever title game appearance taking on Amherst. The Mammoths also in their first ever championship game appearance with an 18-3 record and two tremendous stars. Jordan Krug, senior attackman, playing for Cabrini, second-team All-American, and a guy named Wolf. No, it's not Jordan Wolf, but his younger brother Evan playing for Amherst, National Attackman of the Year.
It's great to see fresh blood in the Division III landscape. Salisbury has just dominated that conference or that level of college lacrosse with 12 national championships. Cabrini was able to climb Seagull Mountain last weekend to get to their first ever national championship game. And then Amherst, I mean, you talk about New England and the NESCAC with Middlebury and Wesleyan, last year's national champion. You've got Tufts, who has won multiple national championships. Well, now it's Amherst's turn, and they bring a ton of talent to Philadelphia, very hungry for their first ever national championship. So it should be a really fun game, should be a fast-paced game between Cabrini and Amherst coming up in a little bit.
Steve Culfer, 19th year leading the Cabrini program, has coached 76 All-Americans, the Division III Most Outstanding Player of the Year, 13-time League Coach of the Year. He's never lost a league game. Took the program over in 2001, 124-0 in the CSAC, now the Atlantic East in Division III. Extraordinary dominance for Cabrini. And then John Thompson, 9th year, who was last year's League Coach of the Year up in New England, has done a great job as well. We think some amazing talent will be on the field in Division III, and you've done a lot of these games. They're so fun to watch.
They really are, and it just seems a lot less scripted, a lot less structured than Division I lacrosse. I'm not sure if that's a fair assessment, but that's the way I've seen it the last handful of years, calling national championship games, and I don't think this year is going to be any different. You got two really talented teams that like to get up and down the field, that have great offensive players, have defensive stops when necessary. It should be a really entertaining Division III title tilt here in Philadelphia.
Cabrini coming from about 30 miles away right here in the Philly area, so a lot of family and friends. They'll have that home field sort of advantage as Amherst comes from Springfield, Massachusetts. For Cabrini, the first time appearance, not only the championship game, but the semifinals after 3 times making the quarters, in Amherst as well for the first time in the Division III championship game. And when you see these games, Dixie, with so much emotion, energy, a lifetime memory is about to be created. Nothing quite like that, right?
No, not at all. And this is a division of lacrosse that is not as focused upon by a lot of the media and a lot of the lacrosse world in terms of publicity and that kind of thing. So being able to be a part of championship weekend, play on this big stage, play in the NFL stadium, especially for Cabrini, being local, only a half hour away, this is going to be a thrill. And again, a great lacrosse game.
All right, can't wait for the D3 championship game coming up later today here from Philly. Amherst College taking on Cabrini University. The Mammoths and the Cavaliers to decide the Division III National Championship. We'll have the second half of our D2 title game here as well. Coming up from Philly, Limestone head-to-head with Merrimack. It is all Warriors through 30 minutes. A 9-3 lead back in a few moments to Philadelphia. Back here in Philly, getting set for the second half of our Division II National Championship game. It is a 9-3 lead for Merrimack over the Limestone Saints. Dave Ryan, Mark Dixon, and our crew here in Philly at Lincoln Financial Field. Goalies are back on the field for both Merrimack and Limestone as we check some numbers opening half here, Dixie.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking a look at shots, 26 for Merrimack, 20 for Limestone, but if there was a quality shot category, I think Merrimack would overwhelmingly be in the lead. Both goaltenders did a nice job with 15 saves collectively. Ground balls, Merrimack is controlling the face-off battle. They've won 9 out of 14, so hence a little bit of the advantage in the ground ball category. And then turnovers, it's been a relatively clean game for as up and down and fast pace that it's been. 4 turnovers for Merrimack, only 5 for Limestone, and clears have been really, really good as well. Merrimack 12 out of 13. Limestone is perfect, 8 out of 8. So getting the ball to offense has not been the issue for Limestone. What the problem has been for the Saints is the quality of shots that they're taking, and then they've been lacking in that department. So I think a little bit more patience, a little bit more possession time would behoove Limestone at this stage of the game.
First 8 goals scored by the Warriors by different goal scorers until Christian Thomas tallied with only 13.6 seconds remaining in the first half. He was the first multi-goal scorer of the game for either side. That on a great feed from Black. Bertrand, the National Player of the Year again in Division II, and the Attackman of the Year was 1-3 for 4. How dangerous is Charlie Bertrand in your mind?
He's very dangerous. He's a guy who can feed. He's a guy that can shoot and score. They can use him as a dummy to pick. He's got a big body that could do things. So Bertrand is a focal point of this Limestone defense. But as we've seen, as we get a look at some of the highlights on the video board, this is a very dangerous, very deep Merrimack team. So if you focus too much on number 6, other players are going to do some things that are really going to hurt you.
Leaping goal. Lee Antonio, Black, O'Connell, Ford, and then Christian Thomas, that big run scoring late. Papa had 1. 3 different goal scorers first half for Limestone, and Huey, Sundown, and Tyler Papa, and that has been it. As Limestone Dixie was shut out for the last 13:35 of that first half, a 6-0 run. Now, how do you flip the script if you're the Saints?
Again, you got to start winning some face-offs, which they've done well at face-offs. A lot of dancing by Merrimack in that first 30 minutes. But
that's great.
Again, I'm just going to keep saying it, is Limestone just needs to take better care of the ball, and they need to take better shots. Stop being so quick, so hasty to take those shot opportunities, possess the ball a little bit, move it around, get some touches, and give your defense a rest as well. The Saints played a ton in that half of the field in the first half of action.
Well, as Mike Morgan told us pregame, young team, but with some great leadership. He's got a captain this year who's only a sophomore in Jack Henry Smith. First time in the Merrimack program history. When we asked him pregame who the best leaders were, he said, well, Bertrand is for sure. He's one of our captains. He does everything for us. But emotionally, it's a sophomore, so a lot of different guys. And the makeup, you just tell from hanging out outside the locker room for a few minutes, they were ready to go and focused for this game today. They jumped on Limestone quickly, taking that 3-1 lead after the first quarter. A couple from Sundown and Papa to tie it up. And after that, all Merrimack. The 6th train, as they've called it, as the 6th seat. The coach told us even the number on their bus when they got on it to take the ride from the Boston area to Philly was, guess what, number 6.
It's an omen.
It's like a Hollywood script here for Merrimack, wrapping up their tenure in Division II, hoping for a championship today.
That's a face only a mother could love right there. Holy smokes. Where's the Dave Ryan fathead? I've been waiting to see one.
Are there Mark Dixon fatheads out there?
Only the one on my shoulders. That's the one. That's the fathead that I've got. I haven't seen any cutouts or anything like that pop up here at the link.
All right, Larson Sundown and company trying to turn things around here with Danny Foran, hoping this is not the way his career ends in the championship game. He was speaking with J.B. Clark this week. He said that Danny Foran could be the difference for us. He has been so many times, taking over for the goaltender Sean Howell, who started some games this year as a freshman, but it's been Foran's team since. And now in his last half of lacrosse, he's got to come up big against these Merrimack shooters, but a face-off win right off the bat for the Warriors. And off the wing, Christian Glover, the handle. Exactly the start Merrimack wanted to the second half.
Nice, clean face-off win, get it out of troubles. Then here we go, Merrimack again, waiting for their iterations, waiting for their substitutions to come on to set up their offense and push this Limestone D.
O'Connell and Black help set things up in the offensive end. You just see with the patience and the jog out off the bench from O'Connell how comfortable they are in the offensive set. Bertrand lost the handle this time. A good bounce keeps the play alive here for Merrimack. Max Morrill. Here's Black in the back 15. Gets a pick at X. Black shoots this time, goes high. He scores! Sean Black does it all for the Warriors. Sets up teammates and scores them two, Dixie.
He doesn't need a whole lot of separation. There's a pick set for him at X. He rubs off of it. He gets a half a step, and then Black, with his feeding ability coupled with his ability to shoot as he's heading upfield, you don't know which direction he's going to go. And he just turns the corner and he whips it past Foreign. And Foreign wishes he could have that one back because he went near post. And Foreign came off of that post thinking that that play was going to go the other side of the field. So nice opportunity, good finish for Sean Black.
Black has joined Christian Thomas, multi-goal scorers for Merrimack now. And the run is 7-0. 7 straight goals scored by Merrimack to take a 10-3 lead. Hard to believe this was a 3-3 game. Early days of the second quarter. All Merrimack since. Dakota Kirsch-Downs, junior faceoff man, about 71% entering play, trying to win a big faceoff for Limestone. And they've got it back. Ponzio, their All-American defensive midfielder, grabs the GB. And a much-needed possession here for the Saints.
Big ground ball, big face-off win. You just take it one play at a time, one opportunity at a time. We'll see how Limestone. Now you do have to play a little bit faster. I mean, you're down by 7 goals. It's a lot of lacrosse left to be played, but this Limestone Saint offense hasn't really gotten into any type of rhythm.
Burns shoots. Blocked. Never got to the crease. And regained by Clark Walter, the All-American midfielder, off the blast from Burns. Can Sundown get involved? Feeding this time on a cut to his teammate Matt Bennett, but it's broken up again. It feels like Merrimack understands the offensive sets of Limestone so well. They are getting in their way constantly and taking the fluid motion out of what has been such a great Saint run this year, 20-0.
And you got to credit the goaltender Ponte for Merrimack. That was a good shot getting to the middle of the field, delivered by the Saints.
Burns operates in the alley. Saints badly needed something here. Create some offense, end the run, Papa passing in front, Sundown, spin, scores. Larson Sundown doesn't miss this time. It's his second of the game and ends the 7-0 Warrior run to get Limestone back involved here for their first goal of the second half.
Something to cheer about if you're a Saint fan. Extended possession, couple really quality looks for Limestone. And we're going to see just a dodge to the middle of the field by Papa. And he's going to find Larson Sundown. Nice job moving off ball, the turn, the shot, the finish. I like it when Limestone shares the rock. They're a very talented team. I think they've relied too much on the one-on-ones. Let's see them with some ball movement and sharing the ball a little bit more. That one certainly paid dividends.
Top-seeded Saints have been shut out for nearly 15 minutes of lacrosse before the Sundown tally from Tyler Papa to make it 10-4. Now, face-off win will be important, but won't get one. Yet another win in the face-off dot. Davis Cronin, the sophomore from Boston, has been really effective taking most of the draws here for Merrimack against both Dakota Kirsch-Downs and Christopher Parrott of Limestone. Neither of those face-off guys for the Saints has really had much luck today.
No, they haven't, and that's a rally killer. We've seen it in Division I with Yale and TD Erlin. Anytime you try to make a comeback against the Yale Bulldogs, TD is the doorstop. He's the one that prevents you from getting possessions.
Haley free, passing instead of shooting this time. Now it's Bertrand trying to get that big left-hand shot free. The spin move, the righty shot, and deflected maybe the crossbar as well as it comes to the corner. Black is there for the backup.
Hit the pipe, fresh 80, shot clock reset.
Bertrand is tough. He's a lefty, but then goes right-handed that time and nearly beats the goaltender, Danny Foran, who's got to come up with huge saves here in the second half if the Saints are thinking about a legitimate comeback. Black operates, crisscrosses with Thomas. Seamus Ford has got one of the goals scored today. As they cycle through their cuts, Black again. Got a couple goals. Here's Thomas. Corrals outside the box. .40 to shoot for Bertrand. Dodging, alley, lefty, cannon, shot, stop, Foran. Bertrand trying to crash in for the rebound. Black's got it. And a fresh possession, new 82nd clock. Here's Black, the sprint, dodge, move. Was double teamed. It comes to the goal stick of Foran. Exactly what Limestone needed. Outlet pass and a chance to clear here for Ponzio.
Well, that was a bailout by Black. Not a smart play when you've got a second, third chance possession. Keep it, spin it, make Limestone continue to work, grind them down. I thought that was not a good decision by Sean Black to take really a bad angle to the cage.
A junior from BC Canada, Clark Walter, the All-American, has been quiet today. 53 goals entering this championship game. A couple of assists in the first half, but no goals yet for the sharpshooter. Limestone needs all hands on deck now for a big comeback against Merrimack. Papa passing. Return feed to Tyler Papa. Had an assist on the goal a moment ago. Sharp angle shot. Huey scores! Big hammer, Brian Huey. Speaking of Canadian stars from Halifax, Nova Scotia. A righty blast up top. Back-to-back jacks. Scored now by the Saints to make it 10-5.
Huey with a shot very similar to a goal that he scored in the first quarter. He loves that little right-handed slot, and he doesn't need a whole lot of room to get that shot off and put it into the back of the net. He comes with force, he comes with velocity, and he likes to shoot that high to high, and Ponte just can't catch up to it.
2 for Huey, 2 for Sundown on 2 shots for Brian Huey. .5 game. Momentum is about winning faceoffs. We talked about it all day. Merrimack will take it. Dakota Kirsch-Downs in that squat midfield dot and the faceoff violation. So the Warriors' possession will start here at midfield. There's a whistle with Lee Sipes getting things started.
And this is where Merrimack has to answer once again. They had a 7-goal run when the score was made 3-3. Now Limestone has scored 2 in a row. It's a quick strike offense. It's an offense capable of heating up really fast. How does Merrimack handle this little stretch of adversity?
Max Morrill for Dom Thomas. Christian Thomas the handle. And that left alley got a couple here for Merrimack. Here's Black. 2-1 for 3. Same for Christian Thomas. 2 goals on 7 shots. Black free, righty shot just off target. Mano back up, and it's right back to Morrill and company.
Well, and this is what Limestone needs. They've gotten some saves from far in here in the third quarter, and now some defensive stops and pressuring Merrimack just to get the possessions needed to chip away without any extension of this Merrimack lead.
Trent Kellner, freshman midfielder, helps bring it across the midfield line. Set up here for Limestone. We'll see what they've got in mind this time. Sundown thought about the backdoor cut. Looking to get the feed from Bennett. Been pretty quiet today. Another outstanding attackman for the Saints. Papa. Jeremy Burns, the senior. Lost the handle initially. Bennett. Clark Walter. Papa's up top this time. He dodges, trying to get that left hand free. 25 to shoot. Papa through traffic. Double team, swim move unsuccessful. It's out of bounds. Final moments, shot clock here with 17 seconds left. Here's Burns. Left alley, dodges. Papa free, charging in a shot. Stopped. Reset of the shot clock. Bennett's got the rebound to the left of the cage. Walter and company on the reset. Jeremy Burns passing this time. Papa scores. Right-handed hammer. Tyler Papa, the junior from Fayetteville, New York, outside Syracuse, goes low with a rip. It's another for the Saints. Make it 10-6. 3 in a row.
Not only does Papa get the goal, but he earns a flag. So this potentially could be a dead ball foul against Merrimack, which would mean no face-off. Possession right away goes to Limestone. Papa, we've seen his feeding ability with a nice little helper to Larson Sundown earlier. Now we're seeing his shooting ability. Great catch. The release low to low to the bottom corner of the far post. What a shot by Tyler Papa.
And the sophomore Alex Marceau will sit here from Concord, New Hampshire. He is out and a man of opportunity. No face-off. Off the goal from Papa, who had an assist on Sundown's tally to begin second half scoring. Burns, another assist. He's got 2 helpers, and both have come in this third quarter. Opportunity Limestone again. Bennett on the handle. Sundown thought about a shot. 6-on-5. Papa again. Big crank stop. High to high. And the save this time for Nick Pawnee.
Big save for Pawnee. Little 3-goal run by Limestone. You need saves. And Pawnee comes up with it. He's had a whale of a game so far.
Well done by Kalen Joyal and company across the midfield line. Christian Glover, a long stick defensive midfielder, helps out. Clear, complete.
Is it just me, or every time you say Christian Glover, I think of Marty McFly? Is that the actor? Or Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover.
But Christian Glover's close enough.
I love that movie. I will watch that movie anytime.
Every time you say that, I'm thinking of McFly.
And they both say, yeah. Watched it recently on the plane, Dixie. I couldn't resist. It was there.
It's a great movie. That is a great movie. Which one is Biff out here is the question.
30-second shot clock cycle here. Merrimack with Haley. Had one in the first half. Shorty matchup on Drew Haley with 20 to shoot. Haley charging in, look for help. In front, broken up, comes right to the goaltender, and Danny Foran on a bounce has it. Flag flies behind him. Penalty flag is down, and Foran way out of the cage. Across the midfield line on the attack. He'll stay up for a second. Crossfield pass broken up. Still no possession change. Bennett finds the handle. Flag down. Delay penalty coming here against Merrimack.
Well, great hustle by Limestone to keep this ball alive. This is basically a free possession, and I do believe the flag is due to a slash. So if Limestone can cash in here, they will now have an extra man face-off opportunity.
Matt Hummel has a handle this time in the right-hand cradle outside the box for Huey. He's got a couple in this game. Slow whistle, penalty flag is down. On the field here against the Warriors. Why not use the clock? You know the man up is coming. Hummel's got it. Flag down. Sundown got a couple today. Can he come through, the All-American for Limestone in this second half? Hummel up top. Flag still down. No touch-up and no whistle yet.
Merrimack has slipped into a zone defense as well.
Hummel's set up cross crease. Sundown trying to find him. Hummel lost the handle, and it is out of bounds. And there is the whistle. It was actually a shot clock violation as well. Now the penalty's coming here against the Warriors.
It's going to be a slash. So Limestone will be extra man for up to 1 minute. And Limestone slowly but surely climbing back into this game. Credit Foran with some nice saves. Defenses come together, and the offense is starting to get into a little bit more of a rhythm as we see Sean Black, the guilty party for the Warriors, taking a seat in the sin bin.
He sits on one knee on the ride, got too aggressive, and will sit for 60 seconds. So great opportunity here for Limestone. Their man up entering play had 26 goals to 16 for their opponents. 35.6% with the extra man. They would love to get another one here and continue the run. 3 in a row to begin this second half. 10-3 at one point. Clark Walter for pop-up. Walter thought about a crank, instead passing. Huey, a big blast. And it's off target. Came off the side of his stick. Might have been deflected as well. Into that far corner. In this 10-6 game. 48 to shoot. Pop-up pass into Huey. Tyler Pop up top. Bennett open. Crank scores! Man up goal. Matt Bennett, senior from Nedrow, New York. Got it, shot it, scored it. Just like that. And with 5 to go in the quarter, the run continues for the Saints. Make it 10-7.
All the momentum now on the side of the Limestone Saints. They've used the extra man to get back into this game, and they've also used some better shooting. Bennett is the man in the middle on the extra man. It really is just a 3-1-2, and with all the outside shots being taken by Limestone, Merrimack's defense is starting to press out a little bit. Bennett just takes 2 or 3 steps toward the restraining line, finds the open space, collects the feed, and turns around and puts a hummer past Ponte in the Merrimack goal. Don't look now, but Limestone has a lot of wind in their sails.
20 goals and 56 points on the year for the senior Matt Bennett. Another key face-off coming up after it was 10-3 when Black scored, culminating that 7-0 run for Merrimack. Right back in the game. 4 straight for Limestone. Wing play important. Comes on the bounce to Brendan McInnes, and he'll sprint in the offensive end here. So possession much needed for the Warriors in Black, who had that penalty a moment ago, creating the man up. Cash in for Bennett.
So now it's time for Merrimack to settle down, get back to their offense. 2-man game has worked quite well. Picks and little rub screens have benefited the Warriors greatly. Bertrand, it's that little shutoff, but he is not allowing himself to be shut off, so it's kind of a soft face guard.
Bertrand's pass for Black too high, and too hot to handle off his cross. Turn over. Right back to the Saints. Charlie Bertrand 1-3 for 4. In this second half, he's been shut down completely. And the Saints with a chance to clear thanks to Kendall Collins, second-team All-American, with a 6-foot pole across the midfield line. Here come the Saints again, settling down with Tyler Ponzio.
Good clear. A little bit of a hiccup in the stick work of Jake Kratzer, but he's able to pick up the loose ball, corral it, get it out of harm's way, and get another offensive push for Limestone. I think that they're being much more patient here on offense in the second half. They benefited from a few extra man opportunities, but in the 6-on-6, they're not as quick and hasty to take the first shot. They're finding the best shot.
Bennett, pop-up, cranks, on the bounce, a stop, and deflected beyond the end line.
Merrimack has slipped into some semblance of a zone. They're really packing it in front of netminder Ponte.
And Bennett on the handle. Clark Walter airmails that pass. That's way too tall for Jeremy Burns, the senior from just outside Cincinnati, Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. And turn right back over. Errant pass. And an unforced error, something you hate to see if you're a Limestone fan. Jack Henry Smith, the sophomore captain we told you about, the team's emotional leader as a second-year player, helps with a clear across midfield.
Got to keep with the fundamentals, no matter what juncture of the game it is, no matter what the situation may be. Stick work, always paramount. Don't want to make these silly, unforced errors to give the ball back to your opponent and take away opportunities from your team.
Haley and Black get it set up in the half field. Last time Warriors had the ball, things didn't go very well. Black has really come through today, has the only goal scored second half so far by Merrimack. That was 49 seconds into the third quarter, make it 10-3. Since then, it's all Saints for a run. Bertrand trying to change that trend, and the lefty blast is over the cage.
Bertrand uses his size to his advantage, can shoot around or over top of defenses, but he is getting a step in his matchup with Kendall Collins.
Black, re-trigger, speed dodge. He is so fast, no one on the field can keep up with him. Andrew Martin trying, senior defenseman, charge and stop. Flag flies after the play, and a penalty coming here on Limestone as Burns trying to streak upfield. There's a lot of contact in front of the cage, and the goaltender, Danny Foran. Let's sort things out.
Looks like it might be an illegal body check, at least in what I could see from the officials conversing with one another. Let's get the official call. It is against Limestone. It is illegal body check, unnecessary roughness, 1 minute, and it's going to be full-time locked in. I was thinking for a second it could have been interference on Merrimack as Foran, the goaltender for Limestone, stepped out and the Merrimack player made contact with him. And that is illegal. You cannot make contact with the goaltender in his crease. But they're going to charge Andrew Martin with the illegal body check, and Merrimack will enjoy an extra man opportunity.
Martin, the only two-year starter on defense for Limestone from only Maryland outside Baltimore, sits now, and a big opportunity here for the Warriors to break this 4-0 run from the Saints, getting right back in the game. Thomas for Black at X. Dom Thomas has it for the cross-crease pass. Antonio had one in the first half. Multi-goal scores in the first half for the Warriors. That play's picked off. Danny Foran read it perfectly in the pass from Black. Sticks up the cross of the goal stick and makes the pick. Beautifully done. Outlet Ponzio. All-American shorty here for Limestone across the midfield line. Good pass to Storos. Fellow All-American. Long stick defensive midfielder. Clear, complete. And Larson, Sundown, and company back in business with 1:20 to go here in the third in this back-and-forth game.
Big-time defensive stand for Limestone. That was an opportunity for Merrimack to flip the script here and gain the momentum back, or at least stop the bleeding. But the Saint defense comes up with another big stop.
Hommel from Clark Walter. And Tyler Papa has had a huge game today. 2 and 3 for 5 on 9 shots. Papa the handle. Top of the box. Here's Hommel dodging left alley. Thought about a shot. Lowers the shoulder. Bull dodge. Keeps the play alive. Clark Walter operates. Trying to swim through traffic. Nearly knocked aside. It's 15 to shoot here and 38 remaining in the quarter. Plenty of time on the retrigger. Huey's got a couple already. Trying to get free. Goes far. Pipe just off target. Sundown trying to find the handle. And it's out of bounds.
Good defense by the Merrimack Warriors. They needed that. They needed to stop this Limestone team with short time remaining in the third quarter.
19 seconds to be exact here, Dixie. Bump on the ride. Midfield turnover. Excellent job by Huey. Got physical. And it comes right to Jake Krotzer. Retrigger. Final seconds here of the third quarter. There is still a chance. Charging through traffic. Papa can't find a clean handle or get a shot off. And with 1 second left, fire deep downfield and over the goal, but not by much. Danny Foran was slightly out of position there and thought maybe that was way off the mark over his shoulder. It did miss the cage by a lot.
That was close.
The quarter is complete. Dixie, let's recap quarter number 3. I mean, after that 7-0 run, Black scores early. It's 10-3. The 6th-seeded Merrimack Warriors, the 6th train, is cruising. But a nice run by Limestone, the top seed, to get back in the game.
4-goal run. So it's been a game of runs here in this Division II championship game. You have to like the way Limestone picked itself up off the mat, fought back, made some plays, got some good goaltending out of Foran, who now has 12 saves in this game. They took advantage of some fouls by the Merrimack Warriors, cashed in on the extra man opportunity. 15 minutes to decide the Division II national champion.
Nothing quite like championship weekend. It's Championship Sunday here in Philly. We'll take a timeout. Exciting fourth quarter is on the way from the link. Back after this. Back in Philly, fourth quarter about to get started here from the link. Face-off violation. And the Warriors of Merrimack trying for another national championship against the five-time Division II national champion Limestone College Saints from Gaffney, South Carolina. Merrimack from outside Boston, North Andover. And here we go with a fourth. Mark Dixon, one quarter to determine a champion.
Little confusion on the opening face-off of the fourth quarter. It was a violation. The referees originally gave it to Limestone, but they changed their mind, and now Merrimack has it. Limestone coaching staff not too thrilled, but again, a chance for the Warriors to extend their lead and quell this four-goal run by the Limestone Saints.
O'Connell works here for Thomas. Christian Thomas left alley. Switching places there with Mike O'Connell. First possession of the fourth quarter. A 4-0 run by the Saints to get right back in the game. Quick shot stopped. Big save, Foran head-to-head there with Max Morrill. It's out of bounds and remains with Merrimack.
Good save by Foran. Continues to have the hot hand here in the second half.
12 saves for the game. 11 so far for Nick Pawnee, goaltender for Merrimack. Re-trigger here for the Warriors, trying to expand the lead as the fourth is underway. Thomas with a double team. Bertrand feeding him, open man. O'Connell has got it with the handle. Morrill on that initial pass. Sean Black from X operates. Speedy attackman, can create against anybody. Storos trying to stop him. That All-American, not easy to do. Thomas trying to get the hands free. Shorty matchup. Dom Thomas, feet in front. Over the shoulder shot, Bertrand scores! How about Charlie Bertrand? Catching behind the back action. It's a thing of beauty for the Warriors. The run is over. It's 11-7.
They needed a big play, so why not go to the D2 Player of the Year in the form of Charlie Bertrand. Good ball movement by Merrimack. And it's just a little step-away feed down low, and Bertrand catches the ball and puts it behind his back. It's the only shot that he had. He goes far post. Nice execution. Beautiful feed came from Dom Thomas. Thomas-Bertrand connection puts the Warriors back up by 4.
D2 Player of the Year and Attackman of the Year. Charlie Bertrand now 2-3 for 5 on 8 shots. And Thomas now 1-1 for 2. Brother Christian has played well. But maybe the most effective player has been Davis Cronin, face-off X. He's won 14 of 20 against the 2 face-off men for Limestone. Cronin, another win, cleanly to himself. And plays off to the wing. They'll get things set up again. Christian Glover off the wing with a long stick. Black and company on possession again, looking for 2 in a row after the 4-goal run ended. It was all in the third quarter for Limestone. What a shot by Bertrand, Dixie.
That was awesome. That was really, really fun to watch. The recognition by attackmen when they know they're running out of real estate, and that's the only shot that they have. The stick work was phenomenal.
Bertrand bulldodge here to the left of the cage. Charlie Bertrand looking for more magic with power over 2 Saints defensively. And Bertrand, we saw him pregame outside the locker room. We talked about how big he is. He's 6'3", 220. I mean, he's a freight train out there.
He's a hoss.
Black gets the pick. Flag flies. 2 flags are down. And penalty coming here against Limestone.
I think what the referees are going to say is it's going to be unnecessary roughness, that the player saw the pick and just ran through him.
Bertrand scores again from Black. Charlie Bertrand has done it again. Quick stick goal for a hat trick. It's another for Merrimack. 12-7 game. Playing for Division II National Championship.
When the chips are down, you go to your best player, and that's exactly what Merrimack is doing right now with Charlie Bertrand. The goal is going to count. We're going to have unnecessary roughness against the Limestone Saints for running over the pick. Referees are basically going to ascertain that he could have avoided the contact, but Sean Black at X has the defense hung up, basically is just surveying the field, and Bertrand streaks to the near post, catches it, sends it far post. Beautiful execution by Merrimack, and then they'll now have an extra man face-off.
77 goals on the year for Bertrand. He's now 3-3 for 6 on 10 shots and 3 ground balls. And the man-up face-off, and Limestone in some trouble here. Critical face-off win. Finally for Dakota Kirsch-Downs. And the Saints have possession. First time in the half field we've seen them with a rock here in the fourth quarter.
Big face-off win. We've seen Limestone have a 3-goal run, then a 4-goal run. What's next? 5, right? They're down by 5. We'll see if the Saints have the gas in their tank to go ahead and execute this.
Burns for Sundown here. As Andrew Martin, senior, and a first-line close defenseman sits on the penalty right before the Bertrand goal on a brilliant feed from Sean Black. Clark Walter for Huey. 35 to shoot. Limestone not a lot of urgency yet in this possession. Down by 5. They need some magic pretty fast here.
Want to kill the penalty before they're going to attack, however. They want to go 6-on-6 versus 5-on-6. Merrimack, 5-goal lead. They're not going to create offense by chasing all over the field.
Penalty expired. 6-on-6 Lacrosse. It's Burns off the pipe, flag down. Penalty coming here against Merrimack. Bennett finds the handle. There is a call coming here against the Warriors. Jeremy Burns out of the sub box when the penalty expired to get us to 6-on-6 Lacrosse. Almost had another for Limestone, but draws iron instead. Tough break again for the Saints. Sharp angle, shut down. Great save. Nick Ponte, the stop. Here comes the penalty flag against the Warriors. So man up time on the way here for the top-seeded Limestone Saints.
That really was an excellent save by Ponte. It was a nice dive attempt by Jeremy Burns. Went to the far post, but Ponte was able to track it and follow it, make the clean save. It's going to be a push on Merrimack. So the Limestone Saints, up to 30 seconds, will have the man advantage.
Lee Sipes sits for half a minute here. And a really good opportunity for Limestone. Clark Walter for Papa. Return pass. Bennett has it. Sundown. Sharp angle. Big blast scores. Larson Sundown. In tight quarters, cranks and goes high with a lefty hammer. And just like that with a man up, Sundown's got another. A hat trick in the game for the All-American from Limestone and make it 12-8.
Just a simple circle offense. And Bennett and Sundown are just going to flip spots. Bennett was at goal line extended. He's going to replace Sundown up top. And then Sundown, not a whole lot of room. And just puts a BB pass a Ponte about a yard above goal line extended. Bennett to Sundown, and is this the goal that can create or spark another Saint run?
7-0 run, Merrimack. The second into the third quarters, and then the 4-0 sprint for Limestone to make it 10-7 after 3. Bertrand a couple tallies here in the fourth. 12-7 at one point, then Sundown from his teammate Matthew Bennett. 12-8 game, that with the extra man. They score with about 5 seconds into that. 6-on-5, didn't take them long. Big face-off win, chance again. Sundown lost the handle on the pass from his face-off man, Kirsch-Downs. And it's taken back here by Christian Glover with a 6-foot pole off for Thomas.
Unfortunate turn of events right there for Limestone. Looked like they were going to win the face-off, get another possession, have another crack to chip away at this Warrior lead, but it takes a funny bounce, and the Warriors, credit them, making the play, getting the ground ball, and putting the ball in their sticks with a 4-goal lead, approaching the 10-minute mark. We got about 50 seconds left on the shot clock. Now the question is, how's Merrimack going to manage the game? Up by 4, they're winning face-offs consistently.
Black spins, quick shot, pipe. Danny Foran sprinting to his left, trying to get a piece of that one. It got iron instead. It checks up on the natural grass surface here at the link for O'Connell. Fresh 80 up on the board here. Bertrand, far side GLE. Pick from Dom Thomas. Charlie Bertrand up top for Thomas. Good ball movement again for Morrill. Christian Thomas, hands free, scores! Righty blast from 10. Sprints to his right. And that's a hammer that Danny Foran cannot track. Another for Thomas, another for the Warriors.
An eye-level vapor trail past Foran, the goaltender for Limestone. Take the middle of the field. When you get to the middle of the field as an offensive player, good things happen. And we're going to see Christian Thomas, get to the middle of the field. He gets his arms free, so he's got some momentum. And then he's just going to put a high-to-high shot past the Limestone goaltender. That one had some pepper to it.
.53 for the season, and now 3-1 for 4 on 8 shots today for Christian Thomas. Brother Dom 1-1 for 2, so the Thomas brothers again get the job done for Merrimack. Limestone needs a face-off win. Kirsch Downs battles. Cronin wins it again and feeds back to Dan Contour.
Well, this is what makes it that much more difficult for Limestone to come back, although plays like that will keep them in the game. At the face-off dot, Merrimack has just been so proficient. So now with those unforced errors, Limestone has to capitalize, has to cash in to continue to chip away at this Merrimack lead.
Sundown, Clark Walter operate offensive end here. Dixie off the turnover. Sloppy play from Merrimack. A lot of lacrosse left here with 8:40 and counting in the fourth. And a 5-goal game.
Sundown has had some success shooting the ball. Bennett as well. Papa, though, I think needs to be involved in this offensive sequence. He's been able to win his matchup consistently here today.
Sundown passes up top. Right on cue to Tyler Papa. Thought about a dodge in the right alley. Instead backs it out top of the box. 35 to shoot here for Papa and company. Slide comes. Papa still free. Goes low and just off target on that righty bouncer. Limestone thought it was closest to it with Huey, who's very upset. But a good run out to the back line. And a good chance here for Limestone on a ride to stop Merrimack. Clear try.
I thought Huey was closer too. Rule is closest to the ball when and where it goes out.
Nick Potty, long pass on the bounce for Black. Connects. Sean Black sprints toward the cage at GLE. Thought about charging in for a shot, but no backup. Wisely slows down, at least for the moment. And using a little more clock here for Thomas, with 30 seconds gone in the shot clock cycle and a 5-goal lead.
How will Merrimack manage the rest of this game? They can't sit on it. And they have attacked Christian Thomas with that last goal, so they're not being bashful, but I see them, instead of attacking maybe at 40 seconds, maybe they attack at 50, 60 seconds expired in the shot clock.
Bertrand, long stick matchup on him. Bertrand, sharp angle shot, stop this time. Danny Foran read it perfectly to the goal stick and sprints out of the cage himself. Second time we've seen him in the game across the midfield line. He'll shovel off for Clark Walter, and Sundown lost the handle. Loose ball. Larson Sundown, big turnover. It is knocked out of bounds, though, by Perez Blanco, a tremendous freshman defenseman tasked with matching up with Sundown throughout the day.
Yeah, Perez Blanco almost had a situation where could get the ball right back, but there's just the stick work the last couple of minutes for both teams has been lacking.
Airmail pass again. Sipes, easy pick, and one more time. Thomas, things unsettled. Pass in front. Flags fly. A lot of contact as Sean Black is smothered to the right of the crease by a couple of Saints players.
Well, Sean Black basically just got tackled by the Limestone defense, and really I don't have a problem with it. That's the equivalent of a basketball player having an uncontested layup, and you make the decision, am I going to let him shoot the easy shot, or am I going to take a charge at him? And that's exactly what Limestone did. The foul is on Steve Werner. Runs Sean Black down from behind, but instead of it being 14-8, now it remains 13-8, and you make Merrimack earn it on the extra man.
30-second technical call. So far, Warriors 0 for 2 EMO. The Saints have cashed in twice with the extra man. It's a big moment of the game again for both sides. Black passing up top. Big blast just off target. And a hammer there from Leantonio. Had a goal in the first half from Locust Valley, New York. Merrimack on the attack with Thomas. Leantonio, short stick matchup. Ladder stage, extra man. Thomas on the bounce. It's stopped. Foreign able to kick out to the far corner. And the battle for it, and
timeout taken by Merrimack, excuse me, yeah.
Merrimack at the last second, before that ball is about to skip out of bounds, stops the clock with Coach Mike Morgan. And year number 12 with 5:55 Dixie to go here in our fourth quarter and a 5-goal lead.
Great timeout. Shot, hit off of Foreign. Nice save by Foreign. Kicks out to the corner of the field. And Merrimack is going to have a fresh 80 when he picks it up. So the timeout's not going to affect the shot clock. Merrimack player was able to run it down, get it in a stick, quick timeout. 5:55 left with a full 80-second shot clock to work with.
Mike Morgan said this week that he and his staff players are very comfortable with being in this Division II National Championship game. Won it last year, not far from home at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and you've just gotten that feeling, even with the Limestone run, that Merrimack belongs in this game.
They really do, and they've established a tradition of excellence here in Division II. Lost 2 years ago to Limestone, won their first ever a year ago in dominating fashion over St. Leo's, which was a surprise advancement to the title tilt. And then they're facing a Limestone team that is undefeated, ready to rock and roll. And this is just a group that got out to a quick lead, had to weather a storm, and then had a 7-goal run to take a 10-3 advantage. And they've gone tit for tat ever since. And they're showing a lot of playoff experience and a lot of grit here, continuing to hold this lead.
Beat St. Leo last year at Foxborough 23-6 in a one-sided game. One-sided game, pardon me. Here it's 13-8. Trying to put things away, but a lot of lax left off the timeout. We'll see what Coach Morgan and his staff had in mind. Bertrand far corner. Had a huge game, 3 for 6 on 11 shots. Re-triggers with a fresh 80. One more year for Bertrand at the Division I level when Merrimack moves up next year playing the NEC. Can't wait to see what he does.
Looking forward to it as well.
Max Morrill to jog out. Warriors really not in a big hurry with 5.5 to go in regulation. They've got the 5-goal lead in the ball. O'Connell, shorty matchup, left alley. Thomas. Morrill dodges. Goal line extended, passing, Thomas, shovel shot. Scores! Dom Thomas gathers, and the backhander low. Brilliant placement. It's another for the Warriors to make it 14-8. How about that goal?
When you come out of a timeout, this is the result you would like to have. Pay dirt scoring a goal. Credit Morrill for coming in, dodging left-handed, didn't really have an angle to shoot, and he's going to make the pass out front to Dom Thomas. And how about Thomas? Catches it back to the goal, snaps it from his ankles. Beautiful shot. Great work between Morrill and Thomas, upping the Merrimack advantage back to 6.
What a pass for Morrill. Second assist of the game for Max, and a better finish for Dom Thomas. The Thomas brothers have been outstanding in this game today. Dom 2-1 for 3. Christian 3-1 for 4 so far. Dominant. Lead at 6. Face off, Limestone needs it badly. And they get it, thanks to Kirsch Downs. He'll sprint to the offensive end. Limestone's got to set things up here, Dixie, the half field, and cash in.
Looks like there's going to be a timeout taken by the Saints.
They'll take a timeout with head coach J.B. Clark in year number 9 with 4:53 to go in our fourth quarter. A 14-8 game. We'll take a timeout as well. Back to Philly in a moment. Back in Philly off the timeout, called by Limestone. Good turnover and outstanding work defensively again for the Warriors. Carlin Joyle with a takeaway with a 6-foot pole, passing off for Christian Glover across the midfield line, and now Thomas and company will set it up by 6. Another defensive stop in the half field.
Joyle has made 3 big plays. He was on the face-off, created a loose ball situation that got Merrimack possession when Limestone was making a run, and now twice on the defensive end he's gotten the ball out of harm's way in critical situations.
Black sprints toward the net. Andrew Martin trying to head him off of the pass. Sean Black has been tough to stop today. 2-2 for 4 on 7 shots. Setting up teammates like O'Connell, Bertrand, the Thomas brothers. Tough to stop for sure. Black passing in front. Another one for Dom Thomas. He scores. Quick stick goal. Slam dunk. Easy tally. And Merrimack in great shape trying to win a second straight national championship. Make it a 15-8 game.
Black just uses his speed. They were shutting off the player adjacent and trying to work over the sophomore from Merrimack, and he just got a little bit of separation and then just turns on the jets. Gets to the middle of the field. He could have shot it, but he does the unselfish thing and makes the one more down low to Dom Thomas, who slides it by the Limestone goaltender Foreign, who was really left hung out to dry.
5 goals, 2 assists combined for the Thomas brothers. Davis Cronin, outstanding all day in the faceoffs. He's won 16 of 25 so far. Head-to-head with both Dakota Kirschdowns and Christopher Parrott. Kirschdowns trying to win this one. Cronin does it again. Face-off win, Merrimack. Off the wing, critical play again. Joyle across the midfield line. And with outstanding play with a 6-foot pole. A setup first, a whistle, and a timeout. Merrimack College in tremendous shape here, Mark Dixon, with 3:19 to go in the fourth quarter. A lead by 7 and the ball.
Nice play again by Carlin Joyle. He's been a difference maker here today, playing wings on faceoffs, playing down low on defense. He's going to get the ball. He's going to turn on the jets, get out of pressure, and then flip the ball off to Sean Black. Good timeout taken. Merrimack is now out of timeouts for the game. And we're just going to have to see how this rest plays out. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Limestone's down 7 goals, 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes left to go in the game. I imagine they're going to pull their goalie, have an empty net, double the ball all over the field.
Merrimack, 3 straight road games in the NCAA tournament in Division II to get this far. And now on Championship Sunday, they are that close to winning it all. Charlie Bertrand, National Player of the Year, Attackman of the Year, leading in goals and points, has come through with some huge moments, 3 and 3 for 6. Every time Limestone had a run, Dixie, Merrimack had the answer.
And when they made that 4-goal run in the third quarter, you thought the tide was going to turn. You thought that everything was going to shift. But remember, start of the fourth period, Limestone thought they were the beneficiary of an illegal procedure violation on the faceoff, but the referees changed the call, gave the ball to Merrimack, and it has been all Warriors in this fourth quarter.
Off the timeout. The re-trigger again. And why rush if you're the Warriors? Bertrand in the back 15 to jog out. Kendall Collins watches him. Bertrand with 3 goals already and 6 points. As we told you about, dominant in his final game as a junior, final Division II game ever for Merrimack. They're bound for the NAC and Division I next year.
And Danny Foran now vacates his crease.
Has to. So the net is empty, trying to cause a turnover. Bertrand splits the double team. That's an open goal. It's a score for Charlie Bertrand, and the Warriors tally again. He's got 4 today. And it's a 16-8 lead as Merrimack closes in on another national championship.
This is where Bertrand just uses his size to his advantage. Foran comes out of his crease to double the ball. And these are 2 poles against Charlie Bertrand. He's just going to split them, swim move. Goal is left unattended. He slips it between the pipes. And now Merrimack is doubling up Limestone.
Only 2:38 standing between the Warriors and a second straight national championship for Mike Morgan. The Hollywood script for the 6-train team. The 6th seed, trying to do it all for a second straight year. Kirsch Downs, Davis Cronin, crouching, midfield dot. Face-off's a huge factor all day, and the scrum will use some time, and Merrimack's fine with that.
They absolutely are. This looks like yesterday's game. Erlin and Arceri.
We saw a lot of that, didn't we, in Division I? Tremendous. Comes away to the Merrimack Warriors again, and Lee Sipes, the shorty, has got it off the wing. He was patient, and Merrimack one more time with just over 2 to go in the fourth, cruising toward another national championship. Thomas brothers were brilliant. Bertrand was as well.
Sean Black
was absolutely fantastic, feeding 2 and 3 for 5.
And Carlin Joyle with the long pole was exceptional. And
agreed.
You can't discount their goaltender either. Nick Ponte hasn't been super busy here in the fourth quarter, but his 12 saves have been difference makers.
Complete effort. Jog out here with 1:35 and counting. Might not see another shot. With 35 on the shot clock, why rush it? Why take a chance with a big lead here?
Now the double coming from Limestone.
Net is empty. Dom Thomas, who's had a huge afternoon, jogs away from the heat. Thomas the run out. 19 to shoot. They made us use the whole shot clock. Dump the ball in the corner. Sean Black. No one can catch him. Fastest guy in the field all day. 8 to shoot. Net still empty on the press out. The double team in our final minute of the fourth quarter. Shot clock violation. Clock down to 54.5 for Merrimack. And this great run for Limestone as the top seeds, 20-0 looking for their 6th national championship in school history, is going to fall short, but what a season again for the Saints from Gaffney, South Carolina.
This team will be back. They're year in, year out, loaded.
Papa did not have the ball when he cranked for the shot. Contour takes it away with 25 seconds to go. That's all standing between Merrimack and a 2nd straight national championship. Christian Thomas outstanding, 3-1 for 4 today. Runs away from the defense with 15 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Limestone will not challenge now. Christian Thomas, 6 seconds. Christian Thomas, 4 seconds. 2 seconds, zeros, and that's it. For the 2nd straight year and 2nd time in school history, Merrimack College has won the Division II National Championship. The Warriors do it again. Merrimack 16 and Limestone 8 here in Philadelphia at the Link. It is Warrior Day. Mark Dixon, the 6th train, has made its final stop in Division II, and they go out as champs.
What a way to go out. National champions 2 in a row. Merrimack, they came, they saw, they conquered. A dominant effort, really, all game long. There were situations, there were instances where Limestone showed life, rallied, really tested this ball club. And I tell you, they weathered the storm and they came out with a dominant victory.
What a way to end their tenure in Division II by raising the gold trophy here in Philadelphia. And now it's celebration time. It's the picture that everyone wants to pose for.
No doubt.
Holding that trophy.
I might run down there and get in the Polaroid.
Get in on that pic.
Why not?
The 6th seed, 17-3 this year. Limestone finishes out at 20-1. And now it's time to celebrate. If you're Merrimack, Michael O'Connell had a goal, was part of the great effort in the midfield. The attack was the big story with Bertrand and company. And they have done it again. Champs going back to the Boston area.
Feels good. Players are over celebrating with their fans, family, and friends. It's a great scene here in Philadelphia.
16-8 is the final. Merrimack wins the Division II National Championship, and we'll be back with a trophy presentation.